What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another reaction video, and today we are reacting to Colin Cowherd's top 5 NBA players who are under the most playoff pressure. You guys seem to really enjoy my video the other day of me reacting to Colin Cowherd's NBA playoff prediction / bracket video, so today I'm coming at you guys with this one. Like always, I will leave a link to the video in the description below if you want to take a look at it yourself. We'll see if I'm going to agree with them, disagree with them, and then maybe give my top 5 players under the most playoff pressure at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get into this right now. Let me just make sure everything's
I think
good,
there's 5 players where there's a lot of pressure and I can feel it. I'll give you my top 5. These are the 5 guys I think face real legacy pressure. Number 5 would be Chris Paul. You know I love Chris Paul.
Okay. I feel like you can get behind that. Chris Paul has never made it to a conference finals. I don't think he ever had with the Clippers. If he has, he's never obviously won one. Oh, no. Yeah. No, he has. That was completely wrong. He went to it with the Rockets. I don't know if he ever did with the Clippers, but I forget. But he went to it with the Rockets, was 1 game away from going to the NBA Finals. He has never been to an NBA Finals. I mean, if the Suns made it to the Finals, I would be so happy for him. I really would. He's one of the best ceiling raisers in the NBA. He's done that in Houston. He's done that with the Pels. He's done that with the Clippers. He's done that with the Thunder. And now he's doing it with the Suns. He has such a tough matchup in round 1, taking on the LA Lakers. So if he can knock off LeBron in round 1, that would be very good for his legacy. But it's going to be very tough for him to do that.
But we've got this thing about Chris Paul where he has been around forever, and everybody wants to say he's top 5 point guard, and he's not good in the postseason. Let's be honest. His career postseason winning percentage is 47%. And
I
yet
wouldn't say he's been bad in the postseason, but yeah, I guess I know where he's going with.
65% of his games in the regular season. And now Phoenix has the second best record in the league. You can't do a one-and-doneer. Like, you got to win some games here. You got to win some series here. He's got some good young players. He's got a coach, Monty Williams, everybody likes. He's been to 1 conference finals in his career, despite the fact he's had a remarkable career. So a little pressure on Chris now. You got
and it sucks that he's got LeBron in round 1. The Suns could definitely beat the Lakers. They can. Would I say they're favorite to beat the Lakers? No, definitely not. I would take money that the Lakers would win this series because it's so hard to bet against LeBron. It's easier to bet against Chris Paul than it is to bet against LeBron James. But can the Suns win? Yeah, you're going to have Aiden a tough test or tough matchup on AD. You're going to probably put Mikal Bridges on LeBron. And then hopefully, yeah, like who's going to, I guess Caruso will probably guard Devin Booker or Chris Paul. I mean, they could definitely win this series. They match up all right with the Lakers. It's going to be tough, though. It really is. And you're putting AD and Drummond out there. You're going to have to run Aiden and then some big man lineups out there. We'll see if Sarge or Crowder can hold their own at the 4. I mean, Bridges is tall enough where he can probably guard one of them, but you're going to want to put Bridges on LeBron.
A couple playoff series. When you got the second best record in the league, you got to win a couple playoff series.
Number 4.
James Harden. He forced his way out of Houston because he wanted to play for a winner. Okay, it's step-up time. Also, you know, we all have this feeling on James Harden is his game, like Karl Malone, is kind of relies on the whistle. Karl Malone needed the whistle. James Harden needs the whistle.
I don't know if Karl Malone needed that. I have no idea, but that's the first time I've ever heard of that.
No excuses now. You got Kevin Durant. You got Kyrie Irving. The East has only 1 or 2 teams that can match up with you physically. James got to win a couple playoff series or get to the finals here.
Okay, I guess Harden is under some pressure. I wouldn't say he's honestly. I guess he forced his way out. All right.
Number 3.
Paul George, stinkeroo last year.
Yeah.
Last year, first player since the 60s to shoot under 25% in 3 straight playoff games. He was awful. And I like Paul. He was awful.
Maverick series is bad.
And it's time now. And I will say this. What makes it more confusing is there was a point late in the regular season where Paul may have been the best player for about a month. He was unbelievable this year. And then all of a sudden...
I wouldn't say this year, I don't think there was ever a month where I was like, okay, Paul George is the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, that was the thing they always said about A-Rod. Jeter hit 305 in the regular season. Jeter hit 305 in the playoffs. A-Rod was the best player in the world in the regular season and went down in the playoffs. That's why he got a reputation as he's not a very reliable player, even though A-Rod had a lot of good postseason games. Paul George has to at least redeem himself a little because he was atrocious last year in the playoffs.
Number 2.
I would say Paul George. I'm good with that.
First of all, I missed 20 games again. So what are you? So I can't depend on you in the regular season to play. And now the data says the Clippers are an atrocious late-game team. Well, if you're a Magic or a Larry Bird or a Dr. J or a LeBron or the late Kobe, we expect you to be good late. You can have a bad first quarter. I won't discuss it on my show. You got to be good late. So now I'm not getting Kawhi. He's missing 20 games a year, and now he's not good at the end of games. What is he? This is really important because last year, this team fizzled, a favorite, and fizzled in the bubble.
Number 1.
I would say that Paul George has more pressure over Kawhi because if Paul George doesn't step up in these playoffs, he's going to get the wrath of everybody in the NBA, all the NBA fans, everybody on Twitter. He's going to get wrath from his team. But also, if he doesn't step up, Kawhi could leave in free agency. He still hasn't signed an extension. He could opt out. He has a player option. And boom, you're left alone there in LA. Paul George really needs to step up. I would say he might be number 1. I'm guessing number 1 is going to be Giannis. I would say Giannis definitely has some pressure because we got to see if he can go back to the conference finals. But, like, Kawhi's won 2 finals MVPs with 2 different teams. I wouldn't say he's under the most pressure, or second most pressure in the league. I would put some other guys in front of Kawhi. I'd put Paul George in front of Kawhi. I'd even put maybe KD and Harden in front of Kawhi to see if, like, KD can win without Steph, and obviously that argument. Because that's what people are going to say if the Nets don't make it past Milwaukee or Miami in the second round. So we'll see number 1. I'm guessing it's going to be Giannis.
Kevin Durant.
Oh, okay.
2019 finals, missed it, mostly hurt.
But
Last year
I
hurt.
think KD should
This
be in the
year
top 5.
hurt. The question for Kevin is, dude, you left an organization where you could have played about 50 games in Golden State with Clay and Steph and won a bunch of titles. I didn't like that judgment, but here's a time to redeem yourself. You win a championship, it's like, all right, my bad, I'm wrong. And I also wonder, what's left in the tank physically? Like, we're not getting, LeBron's starting to add some injuries to it, but Kevin can't stay healthy, period. Long stretches. So I think there is pressure on Kevin Durant. Otherwise, he's going to become known as like an injury guy, kind of flaky guy, not really a leader guy, can't depend on him guy. And although he'll say that doesn't matter, I think it matters to everybody. Everybody at some level wants to be liked.
All right, so, like, that's Colin's top 5 players under the most pressure. If I had to do mine, I'd probably go Giannis at 1, even though the Bucks have the toughest path to get to the NBA Finals out of anybody in the NBA. I would still put Giannis at number 1 after them losing in round 2 last year. I would probably put KD at 2. I would keep Paul George at 3. KD, he should win it with Harden and Kyrie. I think Chris Paul, I'd like to put 4. They are the 2 seed. They have a chance to go there. And then some other guys I would consider at 5 are James Harden 1. Joel Embiid of the Sixers. You have the best team in the Eastern Conference regular season wise. There's no excuse not to make it to the NBA Finals. Well, there is an excuse because you're going to have to go through Milwaukee or Brooklyn. But there's no excuse not to make it to the conference finals. You should just dominate Washington, and you should also probably dominate the Knicks or the Hawks, whoever you end up facing in round 2, which is just an amazing feeling for them that they only have to go through one of those teams in round 2. And then, like, I would say Embiid. I wouldn't really say there's a lot of pressure on any of the Jazz or Jokic or any other Bucks, or I wouldn't even say there's that much on Kyrie or Ben Simmons. So I guess maybe, like Chris Paul, and I guess that's about it. So mine would go Giannis, KD, Paul George. I would put Embiid at 4. And then I'll put Harden / Chris Paul at 5 in their own rights and to see who is under the most pressure. But let me know your top 3 under the most pressure in the NBA. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Colin? Do you disagree with me or him? Let me know down below. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.